Once Bitten here with Game 6 of Grail Quest 2014, my Bretonnians versus an Ogre army. So we're at Table 5, and I am facing Lord Inquisitor. Lord Inquisitor is also, he's very famous on YouTube. He posts a lot on the forums. He has a YouTube channel, but he just doesn't post there anymore. But his battle reports are fantastic. I tell him sometimes I wish he needs to keep on posting him because he does a great job with them. But he's a great player. He's won more grand tournaments than anybody else in the United States, I believe. And even if I'm wrong, he's right up there, real close. Most every game we've played has been just a great game, and this one really was no different. So if you remember from my introductory video, I need to do well enough in this tournament to qualify for the regional masters. It's my only hope of making it to the national masters, and I think at Table 5 I'm doing pretty well. A big win here would go a long way, but a big loss would probably keep me out of the Masters and therefore the national tournament. So on the far right, he has a unit of man-eaters. I know they have pistols because they shoot at me, and he's got poison and I think stubborn on him. 6 lead belchers. He's that horse-looking thing. Well, it's a unicorn. It's a horse with a horn on its head. He's got that from the Monstrous Arcanum, I believe. Then he's got 9 iron guts with 3 characters. So a firebelly, a slaughtermaster. So he's got maw and fire there. Let's see, behind him is an iron blaster. To the left, he's got a small unit of 3 bulls. He uses as redirectors. And he's got a hydra. And this thing with my heroic killing blow lord I'm not worried about, but I do need to start knocking some wounds off of it because its shooting attack is pretty brutal against knights. It's like 18 inches. And it does D6 automatic hits, and I want to say like no armor save. And it's strength 5. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if there's armor saves or not, but I know from experience that it can really take down knights. It's got a saber tusk, another unit of bulls. Facing on the far left, I was trying to confuse him as to where I was going to deploy, but the problem is he had so many more drops than me. You see he has a saber tusk in the very top left of this picture. I've got peg knights over here. Trebuchet, my 3 knight lances, 2 trebuchets in back, and my great bull Taurus there where you can see him. So I was pretty much down before my opponent had put anything important. I actually kind of like the matchup, list against list. I comped a lot better than he did, so I'm going to have a couple 200 or 300 points, victory points already coming at me at the end of the game. And yet I like the matchup. So yeah, I like the idea, kind of the opposite of my last game, but in this game, on my right-hand side, I'm just going to, my initial thought was I would hold back a little bit and try to rush around the left of that building. And the problem was when I realized that he had all that shooting that I can't afford just to sit back. I'm probably going to have to go up and challenge it. So a vanguard up like that, he of course goes first, and he moves like that. Actually, he doesn't move a whole lot. There's the right flank. Here on the left, I think he made a mistake with the saber tusk on the left. I don't know. I don't know if he was really thinking about being out of line of sight of the peg knights. I assume he was, but I felt I could see him. He wasn't sure. We measured it. It was really close. So he diced it off on my turn, and my peg knights could see him. So I think that is a mistake, and it's the kind of mistake I'm always making with my peg knights is vanguarding them up such that people can easily get out of the line of sight. His iron blaster opens up with the trebuchet, hits it, wounds it, but only does 2 wounds. I'll take it. I will take it. Then I don't know if his man-eaters were able to shoot, but certainly the lead belchers did. And I'm assuming that the man-eaters shot at the great bull Taurus, trying to get the poison to work on it, and the lead belchers shot at my knights, took 3 wounds off them, I believe. And we go to Bretonnians turn 1. Alright, so I'm able to charge both chaffs on the left. Both saber tusks are being charged by something. Otherwise, I move up aggressively on the left. I'm not worried about being charged by anything except his general's unit. And his general's unit can't fit between the unit of bulls and the building. That's why I'm up where I am on the left. On the right, let's go close up. So my thinking here is that I'm just really not too worried about his man-eaters charging my great bull Taurus. So I'm going to I'm a little bit worried about it. My thinking is I'm going to lay the breath template down. I can hit 5 of them. If I can knock one off, then when we go to combat, that's 3 less attacks I'm going to have against me. He's got a lot of attacks. He'll be hitting on 4s, I think. And then he's strength 5 to my toughness 6, so he's wounding on 5s, and he has to re-roll them. And that's why I wasn't that worried about it. I think what I didn't give enough credit to was poison, because with all those hits, any 6s he rolls are going to be tough. I'll get a 6-up armor save, or else they'll just wound me. So anyway, kind of an aggressive call there. My thinking was that I'll get to swing no matter what. If I can get that unit small, then I can set up a counter charge. I have 2 big night buses right there. Even if he pursues off the table, when he comes back on, I can just charge him. And then it'll cost me the Great Bull Taurus, but we'll get the points. Just charge of chaff 1, charge of chaff 2, lay the flame tempted down. I don't remember how many wounds I did, but I did at least 3 and killed one of them, so that was nice. I think I did 4, maybe 5 on her. After combat, it looks like that. So I would like to say I've won the chaff war, but the problem is he still has a unicorn, and these bull units are also chaff as well. So Ogre's turn 2. He takes a bull unit up, puts it right in front of my general's unit, chaff him up a little bit. The man-eaters charge the Great Bull Taurus. It's as if he's not worried about it. I can tell you on my turn, I was trying to be sneaky. I was trying to pull dice and stuff. I did an okay job. I was able to get a comet through. You just can't see the token right here, but there's a token on the table up there. And then, bear with me. I take that back. No, on my turn, I tried to get Curse of the Midnight Wind off on his man-eaters. I saved it for the last spell. If memory serves, I had either the same number of dice or 1 more die than my opponent had, and I cast it, and he just threw his dice. He just wasn't worried about it, and he rolled really well and stopped the spell. And then I think he didn't realize that what Curse of the Midnight Wind did. We have to re-roll successful 6s, which would have totally negated poison. I think if he would have known it, he said something to the extent, I think he would have used a scroll. But at least then I would have got the scroll out of the way. So anyway, looks like that. There's that charge. The most I can hope for now is... It was an aggressive move on my part. It may not have been a wise move. But the most I can hope for is just to whittle him down so I can get the points later. Casts a fireball at my knights and does a couple wounds. And then he opens up the lead belchers and just takes that unit down. That just sucks. This unit is totally combat ineffective. I can't even charge with lead belchers with this stuff. My best chance is to just march and go right through that gap between the building and the lead belchers, and then if he charges me, just flee and get to safety. More than likely, if I do that, he's going to shoot at me, but I'm hoping to have him worried about other things, so the lead belchers won't be able to. The Iron Blaster opens up my trebuchet again, hits it again, wounds it, and does the final 2 wounds. So I'm not really too worried about that. This did not go well. So the Great Bell Taurus does a fair number of wounds on those guys. On his magic phase, he was able to get +1 strength off. And by that point, I think I just gave up on it because I'm like, I think you're going to kill him no matter what. I let it go, and he did. I think he killed several times over, but I got to attack. I killed him, got that unit down to only 3, so much, much more manageable. The problem was when the Great Bell Taurus died, it caused a panic test on that small unit of knights, and on an 8 rerollable, they fail it, and the nearest unit is that unicorn, and they run right off the table. And between the unit of knights, the paladin that was in there with them, and the Great Bell Taurus at 750 points swinging right there, that's rough, my friends. So, Bretonnian turn 2, charge the chaff on the right, charge the chaff on the left, I move my peg knights over to help out, I swing my paladin over, just so he can, I don't know what I have planned for that guy, but just so he's available. There's that. The problem is, yeah, I'm going to kill it, and then I'm just going to reform, and I'm just going to get countercharged, so it's not ideal. This will go well, I'm sure. After combat, it looks like that. So on this magic phase, you can see that token in the upper right-hand corner. That's the comet. So my thinking now is he's going to charge in. Hopefully, I've got a 50-50 chance of the comet going off, and it will almost certainly hit his units. It might even hit my own, but I think it'll be worth it. He's much more vulnerable to it than I am. If I get lucky, it might even hit his Iron Gut unit. And then I'm hoping it just whittles him down enough to help my unit survive. My general's unit on the left pursued the bulls, got the points, but I ran too far. They went really far. I want to 10, 11, 12, whatever it was. It went really far, which is bad for me because now my opponent can easily get out of my arc of sight. I wanted to overrun just a little bit to get closer to him, but not so much he could easily just step around me. So Ogre's turn 3. He steps around me. So my general cannot charge anything except for the chaffing bulls on the left, and I'm not going to waste him on that. His lead belchers and his man-eaters charge my knight unit. I was surprised by that, but in hindsight, it kind of makes sense. His lead belchers didn't have a whole lot else they could do. I guess they could have reformed and shot at my general's unit. But anyway, he wanted to bring him in here. You know, he's going to do a lot of wounds to me, but I do have, you know, a 2-up armor save and a 5-up ward. So I think what he was thinking was he needs to get my unit down below steadfast before I do enough wounds to make, you know, to swing that, because you just never know what could happen. So it looks like that. We go to the magic phase. Oh my gosh, is the comet going to go off? And it does. It hits my unit. I'm going to go up 1. Go up 2. So it looks like I have 13 knights in that unit right now. And after the comet kills 4 of my knights, but it kills 3 man-eaters. Oh my gosh. I can't complain about losing 4 knights. I don't know if any of those man-eaters had a wound on them. If they didn't, it did 9 wounds to the man-eaters. Just crazy. It took a lead belcher off. That combat is now not scary to me, and actually he's protecting me from getting charged by the iron gut units, so very happy with how that turned out. The Hydra shoots at this guy. The Hydra did, and or the Iron Blaster did. Either way, that guy's dead. And, oh, things I thought had swung. So basically, he charged into me, and I won through sheer combat res. He only did 1 wound to me. I did 7 more to him. I had static. And because he was on the side, because remember the man-eaters had come in there with him, so he was on my left side. So when we pivoted, I just barely missed the building. And if I was hoping that I would roll anything, ideally a 9 or less, because then my turn is next, and I could just wheel left and go charge that Iron Blaster. But if I roll too high, like an 11, I charge his general's unit, and I did not want to do that. And damn it all, they rolled 11. Like, dang it! Dang it, dang it, dang it! I did not need that. So my BSB's unit just charged his Iron Gut unit. They're night killers. It's like the worst thing possible. So my Peg Knights charge the Chaffing Bull unit on the left, and my General's unit turns to reform. So my hope is he either has to sacrifice his Hydra, I've probably been saying dragon, his Hydra to that unit, or he's got to risk that my General's unit can charge his General's unit in the flank, and that would be very good for me. So there's that. And I win combat, and I can't catch him. So not the end of the world, but it could have been better. Over here, well, the good news is that I didn't lose. If you lose on your own turn, that allows your opponent to reform, and you're in trouble. So I know I'm going to lose eventually, but on this turn, we stuck. So I'll take it. Ogre's turn 4. He moves his Hydra up to redirect my knights. He rallies his bulls. Otherwise, not a whole lot else to do. There's that. Yeah, so his Iron Blaster can just barely see between the building and that hill. This was blocking line of sight, but there is the thinnest of hairs between there, and he shot through there and killed my trebuchet. And my guys broke from combat, and he ran him down. I was a little bit surprised by this because my BSB was dead. The unit probably had some left, but my guess is they would be on Snake Eyes to rally. They were certainly out of the game, and if he reformed, he could get the charge on my general's unit, and I would certainly be scared about that. But I think he was just looking at securing the win and not taking any chances. He can respond for himself in a comment what he's thinking about. So Bretonnian turn 4, I charge his Hydra. I charge his bulls again with the Peg Knights. That's all I have on the table. The Peg Knights beat and run down. They rolled like insanely high, getting the bulls. My general's unit kills the Hydra, and then I'm not sure, but I think since we reformed, we didn't have to pursue him. I don't know if I got heroic killing blow or if just all those night attacks got him. Either way, I reformed to face his Iron Blaster. Ogres turn 5. He's just taken his Iron Gut unit to my deployment zone. He got his Slaughtermaster and his Butcher out. The Butcher's in the building. The Slaughtermaster's to the right of it. He wants to be able to cast spells at me. His Iron Guts, I think you can get bonus objectives, bonus battle points by being in the deployment zone. So he's securing those points and going down there. Through magic or shooting, he kills a Peg Knight, which is a very smart move. It forced a panic test, but I passed it, thankfully. And we go to Bretonnia turn 5. So I was going for broke here, so I charged my Heroic Killing Blow general out at his Iron Blaster. I need a 9, and he fails it. So that's kind of a bummer. The other Knight unit I reformed because I want my Prophetess to be able to cast spells because he's got 2 lone characters, and I've got Thunderbolt, I've got Comet, I've got some stuff to cast, and hoping we can get something there. My Peg Knights come back to be near leadership. And I don't know if a spell went off or not. I think a spell went off, and his Butcher took a wound. You can see there's a wound marker on his Butcher. That could have happened earlier in the game, but I think it happened right then. So he sits tight. He backs up with his Iron Blaster. He's going to shoot at my general. He takes his guys out of the building because he didn't want to take the chance of me charging him and maybe getting lucky with just a charge. So he aims at my general. He shoots and he misfires, and he rolls a 1, and the Iron Blaster blows up. Ha! Take that. Take that. I was relying on a 4-up Lookout Sir and then a 5-up Ward, and that's a scary thing to look at. So on my turn 6, I just pull the Prophetess out of the unit. I want her to cast spells without worrying about a miscast too much. So it looks like that. And she gets the spell off. I assume it's Urinin's Thunderbolt. I get this Butcher down below half wounds, which gives me half points for him, but wasn't able to kill him. And the game ended like that. So, yeah, that turned out. I mean, it was just a really fun game. It turned out being really close. I thought the Lord Inquisitor had it by a lot, especially after I lost at 750 points. But when it got down to this, and he kept on having to sacrifice points to chaff me up, and I just kept on collecting points here and there. It got closer and closer. And then when you threw in the extra few hundred points for comp, I actually ended up scoring more victory points than him by about 113 or something like that. So it ended up being a draw, 10-10, and then I think we both got an extra battle point. I don't remember, it doesn't matter. So something like that. So ended up getting a draw against Lord Inquisitor. I'll take it. Yeah, so he ended up getting 10th place in battle points in the tournament, and he took 3rd place overall in the tournament. And more significantly, he was crowned the Southern Overlord. So in the Mid-Atlantic region, he was 1st place in terms of your top 3 tournaments performances. So congratulations to him. He had a great game, a great tournament, a great year. In terms of my tournament, my goal was to score high enough to get invited to the Mid-Atlantic Regional Qualifying Tournament. I guessed I needed to place in the top 10. I ended up taking 9th place in battle and 6th place overall, and secured a spot for it. So my goals for it were met. I can't complain. It was a fun tournament. I hope you got that sense. I was certainly frustrated with the way I played in Game 4 when I got my butt handed to me by the Warriors Chaos Army. But I think that's going to happen. I think my other games weren't perfect, but I think they were at least solidly played. And I can't really complain about that. So way to go, Bretonnians. I think Bretonnians still work well in a comped environment. In uncomped, I get worried about taking them. So that's why I really like these comped events. I can dust off the old knights and see how they do. That's it for the tournament. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has several functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like the video, you can leave a comment, you can favorite the video. I want you to know that I appreciate it when you do things like that. It feels much more interactive than simply me talking to a screen. So if you're willing to do so, please like, comment, and favorite the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you want, and you certainly are welcome to share this video on your blog or other websites if you are so inclined. Again, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.